Hi, I'm Narelle. I'm married to Richard, and together we have 4 kids aged 12 to 17. Today, I want to talk to you about values-based parenting. How to make sure you are parenting according to who you are and not what everyone else is doing. Because if you're just following the crowd, you are potentially going to end up being frustrated and disappointed at the end of the day because you didn't feel like you parented authentically. So for me, 3 of my core values for parenting are honesty, gratitude, and generosity. Honesty as in speaking the truth in relationship. I want it to be kind, but I want it to also be able to, my kids to be able to stand up for themselves and communicate when things are not going the way that they need things to go. Generosity, I want them to be not thinking only of what works for them, but also being kind to other people. And gratitude, I want them to be able to actually really enjoy the good things that they get in life by focusing on the good things that they've got and not other good things that they haven't got yet. I want them to be able to really enjoy and be content with what they've got. Now, your core values for parenting might be quite different from mine, and I would like to help you work out what they are so that you can act on those in small ways every day, which will build up over years to really help you to communicate your values to your kids in a meaningful way that they will take on for themselves, and they'll tweak it to be their own values. If you don't know what your values are for parenting yet, you might like to think about people you admire. Someone who you think they've really got it all together. Think about what they do. What is it that you really like about them? What is it that you would like to emulate about them? See how if you can be specific about it, and that will help you to work out what you value about that person. And on the flip side of that, you might like to think about people or other kids who really annoy you, and what is it that they're doing that that really bugs you, and then you'll know that's the value that you want to teach your kids, but positively rather than negatively. And you might be able to really easily identify your values in the behaviours of your own kids that really annoy you. I'll give you an example of that. When it comes to gratitude, Richard and I really, if we're giving our kids something good and they roll their eyes and, keep asking for 10 other things at the same time, that makes us feel like killing them right there. And so that gives us a really clear idea that how much we value gratitude and how much we want to teach them that. That moment in time, yes, we can teach them that we want them to be grateful, but when we're annoyed is probably not the best time to teach them that. So just summing up, to find your values, if you're not sure what they are yet, you can look at people you admire and work out what it is you admire about them and try and work that out and make it quite specific. What value they have, what value they act out in their life that you admire, and that will be your value. And then you can also look at things that bug you in others or yourself, and that will help you work out the negative side of your values. Once you have your values and you're clear on what it is you want to communicate with your kids and how that you want to build those into your family life, you need to think of creative ways to build these values into your life. How can I parent that promotes, in a way that promotes gratitude? Well, one way that I do that in our family life is I keep a gratitude journal with the kids. It doesn't take a long time. It's not a big deal. Around the breakfast table in the morning, I give everyone an opportunity to say something that they're grateful for. Often it's a person or something that someone's done for them, but often it's a thing as well. And we just write it down. Sometimes the kids write it themselves, but usually we're in a bit of a hurry, so I write it because it's quicker. And then we have something we can look back on and remember the things we're grateful for. And even just that conversation, remembering to be grateful for something, helps to bring us back to that value of gratitude. And if you do that, a lot of mornings in a row or over the course of a year, maybe every second day, that's a lot of gratitude you're building into your family life. So once you know your value, you just need to find a simple, time-efficient way to bring that value into your family life. Another way you could do this for gratitude is to write a thank you note or a thank you email or text. You can help your kids depending on their age, and this is a way to communicate gratitude to someone. Yeah, it's a simple way. Now, once you've worked out what your values are and you've thought of some creative ways to build those values into your life, to make room for those activities, you may need to say no to some other things. For instance, if you really value a lazy Saturday and quality family time, you might need to say no to Saturday sport. If you really value a decluttered house, you might need to say no to buying some extra toys. So once you're clear on what your values are and you're clear on how you want to promote those in your family, you may need to say no to things that are not on your top few values, just to make room in it. Just to make room in your life to be able to communicate them efficiently. Another thing, lastly, just to sum up, you found your values, you know how to communicate them in your family life, you've said no to other things that are going to distract you from those values. It's okay to rethink these from time to time. Going back to my value that I said earlier, that I want my kids to be able to speak the truth in love. Maybe 10 years ago I would have said that value differently. I would have said that I wanted my kids to be kind to others. And over the time of experiencing family life and my particular kids and their social situation, I'm changing that. I have changed that, because what I found was I was pushing kindness to the point where they were putting up with behaviour that was unhealthy from their friends. And that's actually not the value that I want. I want my kids to be kind, but I want them to be able to lovingly put boundaries on their friends or other people in their life as they grow to adults, so that they can be kind and loving, but honest about their needs and their desires as well. That's a safety thing, but it's also just a way to have a healthy relationship. If you're in an intimate relationship over a long period of time and you don't say what you need, that's not healthy. The other person doesn't really know you. You can't have proper intimacy. So what I'm trying to say is it's okay to change. Once you've worked out what your values are, if over time you want to change those values, that's okay. Once you've worked out how you want those values to be portrayed in your family, if over time you decide you want to change that, well, that's really totally appropriate. I want to empower you to intentionally love your kids according to your values. I want to empower you to parent authentically from your heart, from your values. I want to empower you to love your kids and have a really meaningful connection with them that grows and develops over time, because that's what parenting's all about, isn't it? Well, I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.